I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
All right, so I'm late to this, right? This came out on January 3rd. I was taking a little break from making videos, and I come back, and what do I find? Another developer update. This is a part 2, which I'm really glad we got a part 2 because part 1 was, in a word, underwhelming. If you haven't read part 1, I'll basically summarize it by saying that they didn't really talk about anything. They just kind of gave these general thoughts of, oh, well, here's what we'd like to do. We'd like to make queue time shorter, and we'd like to make the game more balanced, and we'd like to... It was very, very little concrete stuff, right? It was really... I was not intending to make a video on the dev update, because I don't need to do a video every time there's a dev update, right? They're not all going to be as seismic as some of them. But then I get this... I get this thing on my YouTube feed. It's Otofu reacting to the dev update. And I start watching it at first, and then he goes, okay, now we're going to move to part 2. And I was like, what? There's a part 2? Because apparently there's a part 2. I didn't know that. So I thought I'd hop in and I'd read through it because I didn't want to watch the rest of it. I'll watch the rest of his video at another point because he's a good content creator. You should go check him out if you're not familiar. But in my instance, I'm just going to go in and I'm going to see what we're dealing with here. So this is Developer Update January 2022, Part 2. Welcome back. Hopefully your New Year's resolution was to read more because here comes Part 2 of this dev update. In case you missed it, catch up on Part 1 here. Not going to do that. Now, without further ado, let's get this show on the road. Let's see. Leatherface masks. Every day we stray further from God. So in case you don't know, they're taking Leatherface's mask out of the game. Yeah, well, I mean, it's I had heard about this one. This was one I knew about before reading this, so I tried to think of what the proper way to respond to it would be, because I never want to belittle anyone's experience, but I'm just gonna go on and say, for me, I look at this and it's kind of the thing where, like, we've got to get rid of, we've got to get rid of all these different mascots, and the only ones that can stay are the white ones. And to me, that seems a little backwards. It seems weird to me that that's kind of how it goes, right? That I don't know. It's the same thing where it's like nobody's complaining about the Meg one, the Jake one, even though I don't believe Jake's white. I may not be certain on that. I'm not certain on that, but I don't think he's actually like white, right? Like, which I don't even know what white entails. I guess I'm just thinking of like the ultra European, like the Anglo-Saxon to the 10th degree. Like, I don't even know what would be like. These terms are so relative too, right? Like, I never know anymore. I just, whatever people tell me they are, that's what I go with. In terms of the Leatherface thing, I understand there is an issue, right? I understand that some assholes put on the Claudette mask and they try to tunnel out black streamers or people playing Claudette or whatever. And I do think that's really shitty. My issue with taking this out is not, I've heard some people say, oh, you kill the essence of the character. No, he's still Leatherface. He's still Bubba. We still love our boy. But it's kind of, the famous line from the US government, right, is that we don't negotiate with terrorists. And this is the kind of thing where it feels like you're kind of negotiating with terrorists. It's like, you're letting a small group of assholes determine something that a lot of people enjoy. Now, is this something that I'm going to get all bent out of shape over and lose sleep? No, not really. It's not that big of a deal. I think whether it's the people that are really excited it's gone or the people really sad that it's gone, it's not that big of a deal at the end of the day. You got to realize Behavior is a Canadian company, and they're rather liberal. Whether you're conservative or liberal, you're welcome here. I welcome all thoughts and ideologies, but this is not a political channel in the slightest. But you have to realize that they're a pretty liberal company, so naturally, whatever the liberal sentiment is, that's what they're gonna go with. And I'm not surprised by this. I'm not even really that disappointed by it. I don't really. The more I think about it, I don't know. I just don't really care. Like, what I'm more upset about is only 6,000 iridescent shards. what? Like, come on, man, you're taking my cosmetics here. And you know, the funny thing is, I don't wear the Claudette one. I wear the Meg one. I wear the Meg one as a warning. I wear the Meg one because I don't like Sprint Burst. So I'm very sad to be losing that. I understand, by the way, I understand, right? I understand that if they just take the Claudette one out, you'll have people crying racism for that. It's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? If you just take the Claudette one out, you're racist for removing the only black one. If you leave the Claudette one in, there are people who are going to say you're racist for leaving that one in. And, you know, my idea had always been to just add, like, I really had wished that at some point they'd work it out where you could get like a Jeff, a Nia, you know, all the, gosh, I'd switch from Meg to Nia. But, you know, everybody but the licensed characters, because I understand that doesn't seem super doable, but Bearded Bubba seemed hilarious to me. The thought of, you know, him being like Bill Overbeck or Jeff, you know, to see a Bearded Bubba would have been really, really funny. But overall, I don't know. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. They made this decision. It's theirs to make. Whatever. I'm fine with it. Grade rewards. This one, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. This is one where they talk about how, you know, if you reach red ranks, you get 250k blood points whenever they reset. You know, I don't know. It's not it's not a big deal. It's kind of to increase it. You know, I've talked in the past about the blood point grind, and is this really going to do it? I don't know. It depends on how much they buff it, because that's the other thing, right? You see right here, we're in the process of finalizing the exact rewards, but we'll keep you posted once they're decided. And, you know, they say rest assured it'll be higher than before. So you're going to get more than 250,000 blood points. Is it going to be 500,000? Could it possibly be a cold million? You know, that'd be cool. That would be a good way to decrease the grind. But overall, positive news. Not a big deal, but pretty cool. All right, now they went in and they changed a lot of add-ons and a lot of perks. Now, I'm going to rush through the add-ons because almost none of these mean anything. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put as much... Okay, yeah, I can put all of it except for maybe the Onis on the screen. Yeah, okay. Right now on the screen, you have every add-on change they're making. Almost none of these mean anything. These are not big changes. You know, you get some nice things in there. A minor buff for the Blight. That's, you know, whatever. It's not like he was already S tier. Couple buffs for Bubba. You do like to see it. So they took his mask and they're like, well, hey Bubba, we took your mask, so we're going to make some of your items a little bit better. And I'm sure Bubba said something along the lines of like, because he doesn't speaking. It's hard being this funny. The clown is the only he got nerfed. He's one of two. Okay, so they only nerfed like 2 of the killers with this, and it was Clown and Nemesis. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You took my 2 favorite killers, and those are the ones you nerfed. Now, the clown ones, not that big of a deal. The biggest thing to come out of it is the pinky finger. I made a video on this, and then they did something about it. Does this mean I have a direct line to behavior? Yes. Yes, it does. As far as Nemesis, Marvin's Blood is the big one. The other things, he got some buffs for his Eerie add-ons, which is cool. I like that. I hope maybe we can see them more. Marvin's Blood going from 33 to 25%. I need to see that in action. I need to see what that looks like. So Marvin's Blood and Mikhail's Eye both were brought down some, and I need to see what that looks like in action, because right now, if you use Marvin's Blood, I want to say it's 3 whips with the tentacle to get to stage 2. Maybe it's just 2. I think it's 3 if you hit the same person twice, 2 if you hit 2 different people. So does 25 change that in a major way? We'll have to see, because Nimi's already kind of in that verge of being good but not great. I really hope this doesn't hurt him too much. Also, for those who may be curious, I briefly talked about them addressing the pinky finger. This is a decent fix. Reduce the bottles by 2. At least this way, you can't bring the solvent jug. Not the solvent jug, I'm so sorry. The solvent jug was also added. That's probably why I thought it. You can't bring the purple add-on that gives you 2 extra bottles and then have just an absurd amount of bottles. So that's fine. Let's move on though. These aren't very big. Oni got a pretty cool one. Now, when he downs somebody with his demon dash, instead of 12 meters around him, for 24 meters, everybody will scream. So that's really exciting. I actually think that Oni's had a hard time lately with the Circle of Healing meta, so I'm glad he got a minor buff there. Moving on to perk updates. Let's do it. Let's do some perk updates. Now, one thing I've really been a fan of is ever since that last update where they first started saying, hey, we're going to go to some of these underused, pretty bad perks and we're going to update them. And, you know, this is going to be a constant thing we do. I think that's cool. I really like that as a concept. In this one, they definitely hit some pretty garbage perks, and I'm glad to see that they're updating them. Now, this is the point that I haven't heard anything about. So I am really, really excited to see what's going on here. I see Boil Over up at the top, which is obviously a terrible, terrible perk. Currently, let's see what they did to it. Boil Over. All right, I'm highlighting them as we go. The effects of wiggling have been increased from 50, 75, 100. I have increased to 50, 75, 100. I'm sorry, I didn't read that correctly. Okay, so, you know, that's all right. And the aura blocking range for nearby hooks has been, increased to 16 meters. Oh, behavior, you kind of suck for that. Additionally, Boil Over has a new effect. If the killer drops from a height while carrying you, you'll instantly get 25% wiggle prog. Oh my gosh, that's not good. Does that... Oh, geez. I wonder if that means, like, dropping down to the basement, you're gonna lose 20... Oh, no. So you gotta walk all the way... Behavior, please don't let this go live. Please don't let this go live. That's bad. I don't like that at all. Bad change. Distortion, one of Jeffrey Johansson's perks. Love it. Well, maybe I don't. After Boil Over, maybe I'm afraid to keep reading. With all the things that you can read, that can read your aura these days, those tokens disappear sooner than you like, so we're upping the number of tokens that you start with to 4. It was originally 3. You start with 3 tokens, now it's 4. You're not really going to see people running Distortion, but that's fine. I mean, that's such a... It's such a weak perk that you legitimately could have buffed it up to like 8 and it wouldn't have made a big difference. So, well, actually it would have made a big difference because then people could just use that instead of like getting in lockers and all that. So maybe I'm talking on my ass here, but that's all right. That's a good change. I'm okay with that. Remember Me. I love Remember Me. It's actually a perk that it's like a bad No Way Out, and that kind of makes it fun. So Remember Me can have a lot of potential, but the basic attack condition could make it unpopular on some killers. So it's gone. Remember Me will now get a token whenever the obsession loses a health state. Yeah, great change. Great change. It makes it to where you could actually use it on, you know, let's say you're playing Nemi and you want to use your whip, which you should be using your whip. Yeah, you can actually get value out of Remember Me now. That's great. That's a good change. I like that one. Wake Up. On that note, it seems only fitting to revisit Wake Up, which, by the way, I already run. Like, I already use Wake Up. Unironically, I like it as a perk. I think it's a solid perk, but that's because I'm super forgetful and I lose the gates a lot. Let's see. We have increased the gate opening speed to 25%. Holy, oh dude, that's a lot. That is taking out a quarter of the time to open. Oh man, and the gate's already open so quickly. Oh geez. Well, I think you'll see more. You'll see more Wake Up now. That's I'm not saying it's meta at all, but ooh gosh, wow, that is a buff. That's a buff. Like that's a real buff for a perk that you don't see much. You know, as a connoisseur of all things Wake Up, I'm okay with it, but I hope they're ready to monitor that one closely because that may be really bad. That may be really bad for killers, but we'll see. I may be overreacting. I have a habit of doing that. Gearhead. Oh gosh, Gearhead. I don't use Gearhead ever. I know that it's something about hooking survivors and it makes a generator glow, but that's about it. I don't use it. Simply put, the conditions for Gearhead are too strict for the payoff. So we're giving it a small rework. Anytime a survivor loses a health state, Gearhead activates. Oh, maybe it's not about hooking somebody. The next time a survivor hits a great skill check while repairing, their aura will be revealed for up to 10 seconds. Gearhead then deactivates. These changes will make the perk more appealing on killers that rely more heavily on special attacks and yeah, I don't know. That's still a pretty bad perk. That's still pretty bad. That's not a very good perk. You're not gonna see anyone running that. It's a bad perk. It's staying that way. Power struggle. Power struggle will now activate 15%. Damn. Okay, at this point with power struggle and how common unbreakable is, if you walk under a pallet, I guess you kind of get what you deserve because you're. Oh gosh, dude! Wow, that's crazy. 15%. That's. You know, I don't think that's overpowered, but that's crazy. I think you might actually see some power struggle now, whereas it was used in like the first month of being out and people were like, hey, wait, this never works. Buckle up. One of the worst perks in the game. Another small tweak, the aura reading duration has been increased to 6, 8, 10 seconds. Yeah, okay. Okay, nobody's gonna use it. Still not a good perk. And I'm not trying to be like mean here. I'm just, look, when you have that many perks, some of them are gonna be bad. Minor buffs are nice. People who do use them will get a little more use out of them, but Buckle Up's not gonna be very good. This one's a bit of a roller coaster. It was originally toned down because it was too strong and made it a little too weak. Bumping up the lunge increase to 80%, shortening the gap between difficulty. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, coup de grace, you know, it's not my cup of tea, but I know good killers can generally get some value out of it, so I think they'll be happy about this. It's not one I find myself using very much, but I am glad they changed it. Next up, we have Furtive Chase. It's found its way into some niche builds. So niche, I've never heard of them. However, losing all your tokens when the obsession leaves. So getting rid of the restrictions, you'll no longer lose tokens if the obsession dies. Look, I don't know what niche builds they're talking about, but I still think Furtive Chase is it's still in the running for the worst perk in the game, at least on the killer side. It is such a bad perk. I mean, is it Monstrous Shrine? No, but it's pretty damn close. At least they gave it some value here. I mean, again, just making it a little bit better. When you, it's kind of like if you spray perfume on a piece of crap. Like, it's still a piece of crap, but maybe if you spray enough, it smells a little nicer. Not very good, though. Deadman Switch. So they're really just revisiting. Wasn't Deadman Switch? That was also Deathslinger. The only one they didn't do was Retribution, which is actually a pretty good perk. I like Retribution a lot. I'm very surprised. Very surprised. One perk. Obsession condition of this perk makes it inconsistent, severely limits the number of times it can activate in a match, so it's gone. Whenever any, okay, I got Deadman Switch and Gearhead mixed up. That's my bad. Yeah, no, you know what? That's pretty cool. That might actually be all right. I'm kind of excited to see how that goes. Yeah, I'm excited to see how that goes. That could be cool. And that's gonna do it. That is the update. My overall takeaways. I really don't think any of these are going to make for a big change. I think there is a decent enough buff to wake up that you're actually going to see it run by people that are not insane like me. Boil Over is the only one I'm actively upset about. And then most of these, like Buckle Up and Distortion, I could have actually used more of a buff. But, you know, whatever. As far as the add-on reworks, I'm glad they addressed the pinky finger. I am so glad they got my mail. And then, look, guys. I know that when you want to talk about things like racism and all, people tend to get pretty heated. Just remember, whoever you're debating about whatever, there's a human on the other side. Just be loving, be respectful, and try to keep learning as a person. So whatever your stance is on all this, just be loving. And if you try to be a loving person as often as possible, I think that I think that you're going to find you like the results. So that's going to do it for me. Until next time, friends, be kind. Thanks for watching. I've been DustFood. Bye, friends.